2 boyfriends in a row broke up with me because they're jealous of my boss. I, 27 female, and am an executive assistant at a fast-paced job. I am one of my bosses, 32 male, 2 executive assistants, and I was hand-picked for the position after his last one retired through a personality assessment, in addition to skills assessments, 2 years ago from within the company. I assumed her duties, which included the typical but also a lot of life management, including shopping, clothes, and food, his schedule, and basically making his life easier in a variety of ways. The personality assessment and us both being married to work has made us a working relationship. Ooh, I don't like that. In addition, the first year was full of a lot of stress for both of us. His girlfriend left him for his best friend, and my father passed away. That made us close friends. When my first boyfriend Patrick left me and was jealous of my position, I assumed he was jealous of the hours, / didn't understand our changing life, / didn't want a girlfriend who was frankly a bummer at the time. However, yesterday my boyfriend, 24 male, of 4 months, Aaron, broke up with me because I don't want to be the oblivious guy in the rom-com. I was surprised. While Aaron and I weren't serious, between our schedules we were really just getting to know each other, I liked him and was excited about the future. He had a good sense of humor and was so busy with his own work that he didn't mind Netflix, Chinese, and chilling being the bulk of our relationship. I love my job and I love my boss. But can this all be a coincidence? Do I need to draw lines? And how do I draw lines? Here are some things that Aaron cited when I asked what he meant. I answer his phone calls on his first ring, which, well, yeah, it's work. I spend late nights with him doing date-like things. Usually this is work-related or food after a long night with no break for meals. We aren't going on romantic getaways or holding hands at the movies. We have each other's spare keys. I have spent Thanksgiving with his family. I buy his underwear, work, nowhere else to go when my dad passed away, work. He's given me head rubs before and gets me frequent gifts. Typically, things he buys himself, he will grab 2 of, or just generous gifts for holidays or as thanks for working extra hard. That is all the concrete stuff he gave. The rest was vague things. You know everything about him. You smile every time you mention him, blah, blah, blah. I really don't know if my boyfriends just aren't understanding of my work. I am not sure whether I am genuinely too close or if I am just your average workaholic. Advice? I don't want to quit my great job or lose a great friend. And we have some comments. Comment 1. I've had executive assistants in the past and been around countless others. I have never seen a CEO with a key to the EA's apartment whose underwear is bought by her or who gives her head massages. Your boyfriend's reactions are not surprising in the slightest. Comment 2. Is your boss the same way with his other assistant? That's a good question. An OP whose comment was downvoted 47 times. No, she has kids and loves working for him. He really is a good boss because he insists she leaves at 5 on the dot. She also has responsibilities that involve her leaving his sphere more often. She doesn't get my bonuses, though. I replaced an older woman who was actually his nanny growing up and then got hired on in the company when he got too old. Nepotism is weird. Comment 3. You're filling the roles of nanny, best friend, and girlfriend to this guy. That's a lot of blurred boundaries and a lot of expectations to heap on one person. How many hours per week do you spend with your boss? How often is your personal time interrupted with calls and texts from him? Do you think of him first as your boss or first as your friend? Do you prioritize his needs above your own or your boyfriend's? And if you were interviewing for an executive assistant position at another company and you described your current job to them the way you have here, how do you think they would view you? Answering these questions may give you some insight into what is going on here. It does sound to me like you're too close and that this job is not strictly professional. Head rubs are insanely inappropriate in a boss/subordinate relationship. Buying underwear is nowhere near what an executive assistant does in any place I've ever worked. I think you both may have over-relied on each other due to your personal circumstances, and as a result, you function more like best friends or a couple than you do employer/employee. It's easy to understand why your boyfriends have felt uncomfortable. I think it will be hard to draw lines at this point because your job seems to have no boundaries around it. Anything and everything could be considered work, so if you try to stop doing any of it, you risk being seen as unwilling to do your job. If you and your boss really are close, then you could approach him with it as a concern. Let him know that 2 different people have pointed out that they felt your job interfered with your personal life, and that this has made you rethink some things. But that's going to come with some risk. Commenter 4. I think it is pretty telling that at one point in your post you refer to him as my Mal. And someone replies, I saw that too, but I think she may have intended to write my boss at first and then tried to change it to Mal for clarity while forgetting to delete the my part of it, to be honest. Happens to me all the time. And OP says, yes, an accident. And we have an update. A lot of you had some really good advice, and I took it all in. I would like to take a moment to defend my job. I am not a sugar baby or a glorified nanny. For example, today I came in and spent the first 2 hours revising a presentation and preparing materials that Mal was to give after lunch. Then I helped him rehearse, made some verbiage suggestions, and brought him up to speed on a few attendees. Afterwards, I read through employee satisfaction reports, summed them up into a quantitative and qualitative data. I set up the conference room, went to get lunch for us, grabbed the dry cleaning. After lunch, greeted meeting attendees, took notes during meeting. After meeting, continued with the employee satisfaction report. I formed a committee to handle some rough spots it uncovered, made materials for committee, then I began researching an incentive program that I would like to implement. Answered emails with ongoing concerns, scheduled and reviewed Mal's calendar, called final job candidates and tried to fit them in for final interviews with Mal. That summarizes the day. Finally, I asked Mal if he wanted to grab a drink to celebrate a 3-day weekend. We only had a 1-day last week due to a conference. He was surprised, but agreed. I told him that the boyfriend and I had broken up. He said that he hadn't cared for him, and I could do better. I said I needed more of a work-life balance because at some point I would like a serious relationship. He acted dumbfounded. I don't text that often. Don't you like blank? I thought we were friends too. And it was hard to tell him that I wanted all of that, but I couldn't because he can't be my best friend and pseudo-boyfriend and boss. I love my job and him, but I need to think long term. He was very upset and asked if I wanted to move departments, if he was that bad. Honestly, I was upset too, and of course I don't want to move departments. I suggested we develop time frames and put a little distance in between us, such as not texting at certain times and me sitting in the outer area of the office more often. He said, sure, whatever, and then made an excuse to leave. Later he texted me, this will be the last text you get from me after 7:30. This is all BS. I don't give an F about my underwear. I care about losing my best friend. I haven't responded because I feel like I broke up with my best friend and I don't know what to say. I feel like I cut off my hand. I feel like I broke up with the most important person in my life, but I know that something had to change. Thanks, guys. Comment 1. You should quit your job and just start dating him. You are clearly in love with the guy. And someone responds, seriously, I just want to shake OP. This guy is clearly head over heels in love with her, and she's just a step behind him. Get with him, girl. He's known you for years and is clearly interested. If it comes to it, yeah, you may need a new job, but that isn't a bad thing if you find your soulmate in the process. I don't agree with that.
Crazy?
I do not agree with that.
Did these people not read the end of this story? I mean, it's possible.
They totally can be, but also, like, don't throw away your potential job for that. Like, I potentially do agree with find a new job or at least put feelers out and look for a new job. But, like, you don't have to start dating this guy. What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy that you tried to set a boundary and it immediately goes ballistic and is like being like, oh, fine. Well, I'm so awful. I guess I won't see you ever again.
And then everyone's like, you should date him. Who
knows?
Was
dumb.